everyone, I'm in Cornwall today. I'm going to do some photography, and I've got with me my Canon EOS 750D. That's it, 750D. It's got the EFS. The EFS 17 to 55mm lens on there. That's the upgraded standard zoom lens, because the kit lens, although it's good, it's fine. This has an f2.8 aperture all the way along the zoom, so it's a pretty brilliant piece of glass. Okay, piece of glass. This is my trusty Olympus OMD-EM5 that you've seen before, and I had this idea. Let's have a little looky out the window, it's very pretty. Here we go. I had this idea of taking the autofocus as my kind of focus point for this little experiment, really. You hear a lot of stories about photographers saying, oh, you want to be in control of the focus and all this kind of rubbish. And well, I say kind of rubbish, but it's probably not. But yeah, you know, I want to be in control of the focus. I don't want the focus to control me. And I think that there are other things that, you know, for the novice photographer to worry about. And so I'm testing the completely automatic focus of both cameras. Yesterday I used the Canon, and I just, for the most part, just let the camera choose its own focus points. And I'm going to do the same with the Olympus today, okay? Because the Olympus, I've been used to moving the focus point around manually. For the record, the Canon has a 19-point autofocus. The Olympus has a 35-point autofocus, and there are pros and cons about both of them. And so that's what I'm going to report on today. Try and use both cameras, and yeah, see what I've got. The lens on the Olympus is the 25mm, which on Olympus's micro four thirds system gives an equivalent of 50mm. It's the closest. I haven't got an upgraded standard zoom for my Olympus, so that's the best. And I've also got that's the best I can do. Well, I've also got a 90mm one. Well, it's 45mm Olympus and 90mm in 35mm equivalent. Okay, the 35mm equivalent of the 17 to 55 is roughly 28 to 80. So that is a standard zoom. Okay, all right. So this is Penguin, and yep, I'll see you when I get down to Penzance, which is where I'm going, and hopefully going to explore Merris Iron, which is where the St Michael's Mount is. So, yep, I'll see you then. Bye. conclusion to my exploration of the autofocus systems on the Canon and the Olympus cameras. Okay, right, first of all, this little Olympus camera here, okay, it's darn good. Okay, I love it to pieces. Okay, it's I don't know if you can see, but it's got a bit of a problem with its eyepiece, which annoys me. The rubber surround on it's coming away. And this is fitted with the 45mm lens at the moment, which gives you a 90mm focus focal length. I found leaving this in automatic focus quite difficult. It really didn't want to focus at that on whatever I wanted it to focus on. Okay, now I'm not one of these blokey blokes like Kai Wong, I've got to be in charge of everything kind of person. Okay, the more that I can leave the camera to do, the better, because for me, you know, what I want to be in control of is what's going on in the viewfinder when I'm taking a photograph. Okay, but yeah, I found that the Olympus, although it's quick and snappy to focus, it doesn't actually necessarily want to focus on what I want to focus it on. Okay, so I found myself after a little while of trying the continuous autofocus, where it really just wanted to go to the center and nothing else, I just found myself going into the override mode again. But thankfully that's dead easy on here. I might need to turn the camera on, and you probably won't be able to see this, but you've got this little D screen here. Okay, all you do is, it's saying there's no card in there at the moment, but all you do is press it to the left, okay, and then you can move, see if I can bring that closer, you can move the focus squares around. Now this is a 35-point autofocus, okay, I have to say that, okay, alright, which is more than adequate for most people's needs, okay, and I don't know, as you can see, it covers most of the screen, or as I hope you can see, it covers most of the screen, okay. Yeah, the Canon, on the other hand, I found its auto-focusing system to be fantastic, which left me to concentrate on the pictures and just on my overall exposure. And you know, I like aperture priority, as many people do, and yeah, aperture priority just means I've got to twiddle with the aperture when I want to either blur or create more depth of field. Yeah, the autofocus on here, the continuous autofocus on this Canon is extremely accurate. Okay, this is a 750D. Okay, I can't speak for other Canon cameras because I've not used them, but this one here requires an awful lot of button pushing for you to be able to set your autofocus point, and once you've set it, you've got to press those buttons all over again to change it, whereas with the Olympus you're just using the little D-pad, and yeah, you can use it whenever you like, and it's easy to do when it's at your eye. Okay, talking of when things are at your eye, and slightly off topic I suppose, but the exposure compensation on here, I've spoken about this before in one of my sort of roundabout videos of taking photos. This little button here, this little thumb wheel where my finger is, adjusts your exposure compensation. You can do that when it's at your eye, okay, whereas again with this one, while it's at your eye, okay, you've got to press the AV button and then twiddle around with this thing here. Okay, it's not very easy to do. Okay, these buttons on here, Canon really ought to work on their button pressing system because it really doesn't work very well. Okay. The big bonus of this Canon camera, the 750D and the 760D as well, is that it has a touch screen, and so you can go in and change your exposures and things like that, your exposure compensation and your focus settings and whatnot via the touch screen, but it's a pain in the neck to actually have to do it. Okay, I'm not one of these, I don't really get on very well with live view, hence me upgrading from the EP3, which is actually taking this video at the moment. But yeah, so in general, the Canon is best left to do its job in autofocus. There's a photograph in the slideshow which shows a Scotty dog running towards the camera. There's another dog having a swim, and there's a lady in the background sorting out another dog. I had about half a moment to take that, and this Canon, it was already set on f11, which is, you know, going to give me a good depth of field and get quite a lot in focus anyway. But yeah, just turning around, clunk, it was on that dog, and it took that photograph, and it was, you know, just dead sharp, and you know, you just couldn't relive that moment again. Okay, so for any kind of fiddling around, and the Canon was just straight on it, whereas there was a comparatively more sedate scene when I had the Olympus on continuous focus, on its own automatic focus thing, where there was a gentleman walking towards the me on the platform at Truro Station, and it just didn't want to focus on him, so he ended up blurred, most of the scene ended up sharp. So yeah, I lost that moment really, because I would have ideally wanted the whole picture sharp, and it just didn't happen. So yeah, I found myself very quickly, in fact, going back to the Olympus just on the normal sort of focus override, single point focus. Okay, and as I say, the Olympus has got 35 focus points. The Canon's got 19 focus points. Okay, there are 19 all cross-type focus points, which is actually jolly good. Whereas I believe that the focus points on the Olympus are phase detection ones, because that's how they work on the live screen. And yeah, I don't, you know, it's horses for courses really. Okay, there are good 19-point autofocus systems, the Canon, and there are mediocre 35-point autofocus systems, i.e. the Olympus here. Okay, yeah, but I managed actually to get some really nice photographs with both of them. Okay, whilst I'm here, and again slightly off topic, I have to applaud the Olympus for its wonderful auto white balance, which there's a landscape photograph of Cornwall, and it's very nearly dark, and it, you know, everywhere's got this really deep blue sort of aura about it, and the lights from the houses were rendered properly. Where there was no light, which was on the wall at the seafront, was rendered properly, and I did that handheld at about 1600 ISO or something, because I had to shoot wide open in order to be able to take it handheld, and that was the only way I could do it, was by pushing my ISO up, because it was getting really dark. And yeah, you know, so thumbs up to Olympus for that one. Okay, the white balance on the Canon is not bad. It can, you know, sometimes I don't expect the results that I get from the Canon in terms of exposure, but again, they're very pleasing when you get them out of the camera, so it's lovely. Okay, yeah, so now what's on the cards for me in the future. Yeah, I mean, as you can see today I'm feeling a bit better, so I can make this video. Next Friday, if I'm still feeling well, I want to start a project about winter clothing styles, being as how I'm also into my clothing. And by the way, this shirt is Harvey and Hudson, this tie is Harvey and Hudson, these trousers are Charles Tyrrell, okay, this jumper's Marks and Spencer's or Debenhams or something. But yeah, so I want to do winter clothing styles which should kind of mesh the two interests. Okay, one of the places that I would like to sort of nip up to is the St James's area of London, in particular Jermyn Street, which is where a lot of the clothing shops are, and just take some photos around there. And I will probably use the Canon for that one. Okay, this is the 85, oh no it's not, it's the 17 to 55mm lens on here, but I've got an 85mm prime as well, and you know, hopefully using the 85mm prime I'll be able to be discreet enough to take some close-up shots without causing too much unwanted attention. So there we go. Okay, alright, it's nice to see you when I'm feeling better, and yeah, long may it continue. Alright, see you later.